It's like a bad dream.
Then worse things out tonight than vampires.
Like what?
Like me.
Welcome, everyone, to the After School Special Podcast. It's one of your co-hosts, Aaron. And we got Double D, staff man here. If you're watching YouTube, he's a cat. Yes, that's right. And then we have special guests today from the Doom Generation podcast. We have Nicole and Tessa. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And the topic, quintessential action movie. Also Marvel, the beginning of the whole Marvel generation.
You keep your eyes open. They're everywhere.
A secret nation of evil.
Tonight, the age of man comes to an end.
A war to save our world.
Blade, myself, killed as many of them as we can find.
A hero who knows no fear.
He makes the weapons. I use them.
Wesley Snipes. Stephen Dorff. Blade.
Matrix coined the term the bullet time. They were the Blade was the first one.
Yeah.
I just call it neoing.
Yeah, Neo. You know, the Matrix thing.
Before you get too deep into it, because I did a little fun fact. What was the first Marvel movie before they were getting ready to go down the toilet?
So if you're talking about the very first Marvel movie, was it Captain America?
No, it was Howard the Duck.
Oh,
That's
shit.
right.
Oh, damn.
That is right.
okay.
But yes.
Was that in the 80s? Was that done in the 80s? Or
Yeah.
early?
Mhm.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Leah Thompson and
That's all I remember is Leah Thompson.
and what's his name? Principal Rooney.
oh, God.
You know, that guy. But
Hey,
he
he's
does
up.
that
Guy.
thing with his tongue.
What's his name?
I know who he
He's
is.
the
He was in
problem.
Deadwood.
Jeffrey.
Not Tambor, because
No,
I almost
he,
said that.
That gentleman ended up becoming a pedophile. We're not going to go
Yes.
down that road
Yeah,
again. But Nicole, Tessa, actually, real quick, also before we get more into Blade, kind of your podcast in general is more or less taking deep dives into nostalgia films.
Mhm, yeah.
The ones that for us were like, I mean, not every single one we've done was totally like core memory unlocked, but
Right,
a
but
lot
a
of the
lot of
ones
them
we
are.
do are like cult classics. We will get to probably blockbuster stuff eventually, but we kind of found a niche with these like weird movies that people who love them
Yeah.
or they never
Yeah.
saw them.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we do 80s and 90s is what we've, except for this week we're doing a 70s.
Yeah,
Our
we have
first
a 70s one coming out for the Mother's Day special.
Nice. Can I ask which
We're doing Tommy by the Who.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's
peek.
solid.
Hey, I was going to ask you, the name of your podcast, is that based off of the 1995 film with Rose McGowan?
It is and isn't.
Yeah.
So like
It is and isn't. Okay.
Yeah.
it's one of those, we might get there eventually. It's not a
We were
favorite.
talking about this last night, like
Yeah.
whether or not we're actually gonna ever cover that movie, and I was like, we should just never do
Just
it.
don't mention
Yeah.
it.
Like we'll
pretend
never
we don't
ever
know
bring
it
it up. Like
exists.
we'll do Nowhere instead.
Yeah. So we
Nice.
I really loved Nowhere by Greg Araki,
Yeah.
but Doom Generation was so.
Yeah.
But we just like we were sitting around trying to think of a name, and I was like, I don't know. I was thinking Doom Generation, but like, are we gonna get sued? And someone was like, "Fuck it!" Like,
Yeah,
how big of a movie is Doom
we'll take the
Generation? Like, do
off
it.
of it.
Yeah,
It's
just exactly. We took the off. So
right.
I just wanted to introduce, you guys to our audience, which is technically, I think, our parents that listen to this. So,
My mom doesn't.
hey guys. Oh yeah, that's right. Your mom doesn't listen. So it's
No,
probably my
no.
brother and some weird creepy guy that's like 50 years old that lives in his mother's basement.
Nice.
Anyways, Blade. So I'm going to give a little description here. It's a fictional character appearing in American comic books, Marvel Comics to be exact. It was created by Marv Wolfman and penciler Gene Colan.
Okay.
I know
mean,
it's not. I'm not pronouncing it completely correctly.
You really leaned into that colon.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda,
Lean into the colon.
yeah.
His first appearance was the Tomb of Dracula, 1973. And then a lot of these other characters, like the Whistler and everything, he ended up getting his own series, but it really didn't get popular or really, really popular until 1998 when Blade came out, directed by Stephen Norrington and written by our boy David S. Goyer. The movie stars Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff, and Chris Christopherson. Those are the three mains. And then, and I'm sure this has been done before. You know, the movie starts off in this club. The music is blaring. Are you beatboxing it right now, Don? You got to beatbox it. You know, Don and I are, going up to the bar grabbing drinks. We don't understand why everyone looks so pale, and their teeth are so sharp. And we're, like, hey, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, hey, I think she's checking you out, Don. Hey, what's going on? And then, they start walking away, and then I bump into a guy that's completely in leather, dark as the night.
Darkness, everybody!
And then pulls out a katana blade and just cuts my throat accidentally because he thinks I'm a vampire. I'm pale as shit anyway. So, and then we begin the movie.
The movie.
The blood shower.
Well, we got to talk about
he's
Tracy
born.
Lords. Oh yeah,
Well,
before
he's
he gets born.
His mom is, we think, dead.
Right. She gets
Yes.
They come into the hospital. She's got a neck injury. She's been bitten or something, and then she has a baby. They take the baby. Then she dies.
And now we're at the
Then we have Tracy Lord. She picks up. Is that Chip or Pepper? That she picks up.
Is it really Chip or Pepper?
Which Nelson brother is that? No.
No, I just wrote some moron. I was like, I don't know. Picks up some moron.
Is that John Tesh? Who is this man that takes
standard
him to the
white
dance
man
club?
takes him to the dance club.
He's got that
Standard
fucking hat
white
on,
man.
That Kangol or whatever.
Yeah, he's got
Trying to
his
be
Kangol
cool.
backwards, and he's wearing his club wear.
Yeah, he's ready.
Was
Yeah,
this
so
Tracy
they-
Lord's first major movie role?
No, Crybaby.
Crybaby.
Yeah, Crybaby.
Oh, Aaron, you're really quick with that one. You're a
Mhm.
big fan.
Hey, man, Johnny Depp. We're with you, bud.
We did Crybaby. That's one of ours.
We did cover Crybaby.
Well, that's one of ours.
What's the
I just
Johnny
claimed the
Depp
movie.
connection? Real
Right,
quick?
yeah.
Did-
We made it.
What's the Johnny Depp connection with that? Did Tracy Lords poop on him? What happened?
No, they're
Jesus
just in
Christ.
the movie together.
Yeah,
No,
they're
there it's. Have you've never seen Crybaby?
Hell no. Well,
Have you?
is it good?
No, that's. It was good. I thought it was good.
It's a John Waters movie. It's
exactly.
You can listen to our episode and see if you want to watch it.
Yeah, you can find out if you think
Nicole
you might
Tessa,
like it.
I know a lot more movies than these guys. I don't know. I was gonna.
No, you did. Very, very nice plug, by the way. But yes,
Flip it in there.
and also that origin story you just mentioned, it was quick as hell compared to the Marvel movies today. It was like 8 seconds, 10 seconds. That's all you need to know. He was born. He was a vampire. He's black. Boom.
There you go.
We're in the club.
Yeah, and we're in the club. There's the music is rising, and
We'll
then
explain
all
it
of a
along the way.
sudden,
Oh yeah.
blood shower, bloodbath time.
Yep.
And everybody vamps out. And then Blade shows up.
Blade.
So, do you
All
think
badass.
that, getting into details, do you think that is probably the easiest way to get blood into your system if you are a vampire? Or are they just soaking it in through their skin?
I think that just gets them riled up.
Yeah,
I think
they
that's like
just-
drugs.
Yeah, it's
That's like
a
party drug.
party drug or something.
So
to
do
get
you
everybody
think
all
the
covered
blood
in
is
blood and
infected
gets
with
them all-
drugs that gets them
Not
high?
necessarily, but it just gets them all riled up and
Yeah.
thirsty for that human moron in the middle of the dance floor.
And I want to know, is he the only human
That's
that
what
they
it
brought
looks
to
like.
the party?
They brought one for 100 and something
yeah,
vampires.
that's not enough human
No.
blood to go around. I mean, I know they have it in the sprinkler system, but Chip
Is that human blood? I was gonna
I
say,
don't
is that
know,
human
'cause-
blood?
Well, because they're
'cause it's-
chopping up all that meat, so it could be.
But they also show the people that they're taking.
Oh, that's right.
Whatever, because he sees a glimpse of that. So I mean, it could be a
Could be.
mixture. Maybe that's
That-
why it's not
I'm wondering.
preferred.
Like a cocktail? Okay.
So more or less, almost eviscerating this guy, and then I guess our Black Knight comes through and
You don't
starts
have
just
to, just
just say
the
knight.
hero.
Just say the hero. Okay.
Just say our hero. Let's.
It's hard to
let's
take.
go.
It's hard to take you
Tell him,
seriously
John.
as a cat.
As a
John.
What do you mean?
Come on, man.
This is how John always looks. What are you talking about?
Yeah, our hero arrives and kicks everybody's fucking ass.
Right,
basically.
he just fucks up their whole gig, and he's got that boomerang thing,
He's got
Yes.
so many fun toys. Yeah.
lights them all up. And then that one dude shows
Quinn.
up. Yes, this
Donald Logue. So yeah,
asshole.
Quinn.
I
the
love that
asshole
Oh
guy.
of the whole
yeah,
thing.
he was getting the
That guy
bullying
is
out.
great.
Yes. Yes, his character's funny. I mean,
Yeah, I like him.
Quick. I'm getting a little tired of chopping you up. Thought I might try fire for a change. Give my regards to Frost.
I like him in general.
Yeah, I like this.
Everything
I've seen him in.
He's really good at being the secondary character. He makes his his characters very important, as he does in this film, as being the second henchman.
Yeah, he's like the sidekick that's just like he's real good at it.
Yeah, he's got the attitude. He thinks he's gonna kick Blade's ass, and he learns real quick.
He's never gonna kick Blade's ass.
Hey babies, you liking the show? Well, thanks. Leave a 5-star rating and a comment, please. Do you want to see the guys' faces? Well, they got YouTube videos. It comes out every Wednesday before the episode comes out on Friday. You can watch this podcast on any major platform you listen to. Rate 5 stars and comment. Thanks, babies.
Real quick question. Who else do you think could have played Blade other than Wesley Snipes?
Ooh, in 1990, what were we
1998. Because there were 2 other people that they thought of before Snipes, but Goyer was set on Snipes that he was going to be Blade.
Pretty damn
I can tell you right now,
action star.
The dude that played Spawn could have played.
Michael J. White.
Michael J. White.
And Spawn came out in 97, right?
That was another early comic book movie. That one I liked a lot.
Yeah,
Spawn was awesome.
But I liked it a lot.
100%. Yeah, Spawn.
So 2 choices that they had: Denzel Washington and Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I saw LL Cool J too in '92.
Oh, really?
LL Cool J, that makes sense.
Yeah. I could have went with Fishburne.
Yeah,
I could have seen that. Yeah.
You don't think Denzel could have done it?
He would have been too much.
He's too serious.
He would have been preaching too much for me.
Yeah, right? He can't do the funny, cocky.
Deacon Frost ain't got nothing.
I love that shit. I love his attitude in this. I feel like it's fully. I mean, Wesley Snipes is Blade to me.
Right.
I didn't know Blade was supposed to be based in Detroit, Michigan. I had no idea. I thought this was supposed to be.
That I didn't know.
I also
That's
did not
new.
know that.
I did not know that.
I thought it was New York.
I did too.
I don't think I ever thought about it.
Well, because I was figuring like with the sun coming up over the water, that just gave me East Coast.
Did you guys know that for that movie, both Stan Lee and Michael Jackson had scrapped cameos that were supposed to be in there?
No,
I knew.
Because Stan Lee cameoed in all those films, but they were supposed to be. He was supposed to be a cop who discovered Quinn's burned corpse after the opening massacre in Blade, and Michael Jackson was supposed to be a vampire pimp in the House of Pain in Blade 2.
Oh my god!
I don't know if that's true, but I hope that's true. Please, John.
Please.
It's true. It's true. It just
I accept it as the truth.
Yeah,
God, I wish there was an outtake somewhere, like they filmed one day, and then they were like, nope.
Like, actually, we'd rather not.
It was a scheduling conflict for MJ, so he was unable to do that.
Don't do it at all.
Well, they didn't have like a test screening of him saying, "Come here, bitch."
Right?
I need my money.
Yeah, that would have been something else. I don't know.
I tell you, Don always goes for the low hanging.
Do I?
Was that everyone's first introduction to Blade? Was through that movie?
Yes,
because
for me,
I had an earlier introduction, and that was Spider-Man animated
the cartoon.
series.
Yes, me too, John.
Yes.
And that Blade looked completely different from Wesley Snipes' Blade, but he had the low cut. He had on the leather jacket and stuff like that.
Yeah, he had the flat top, didn't he?
The flat top. He was a biker. Yeah, Deacon Frost was a completely different character compared to who he was in the movie. But yeah, man, that was my first introduction. But when I saw this Blade come out, I was like, whoa, like this took me back, because before Blade, the first real black superhero movie that came out around that time was Steel, and Steel was horrific.
Well, no, you mentioned Spawn.
Well, there was Spawn, but as far as bringing movies out of the brink, Blade was the one that brought the MCU back from the brink. But around that time, Steel was out, and it was horrific. It was superhero movies at that time were on an all-time low until Blade came about. So I mean, yeah, there was Spawn, but Spawn got bad ratings as well. So,
yeah, I don't think anybody knew really what, because it was such a weird concept.
You didn't know the comic.
Yeah.
It was like,
it was a bizarre.
Yeah. But I loved it, and I didn't really know the comics. I was aware. I had no idea, but I hadn't read them.
So Blade just shows up at the club because he just
he
wants to murder every vampire.
Yes, right. They're vampire hunters.
Yeah.
So he knows where they're.
Yeah, they've been like he's aware of Frost. Frost's aware of him,
but they've never met.
Never met. Yet. And so that's his deal. Him and Whistler go around slaughtering vampires because his mom was killed by a vampire, and now he's cursed to have the thirst.
Cursed with the
thirst. With the thirst.
You see, I
sounds like
that.
A Mountain Dew commercial.
Yeah, the thirst. That should be a Mountain Dew commercial.
Sorry, I do not work for Mountain Dew.
Title of Daywalker comes around too, which
yeah. So right away they know
they're like, oh, it's
Daywalker. Everybody knows who he is.
Him?
Yeah.
I use that term all the time when I don't get enough sleep. Like, oh, fuck, I'm like a Daywalker right now.
I like how they introduced Blade, like the guy everybody was going to eat on. He stumbles to Blade's feet, and then you see that that wide shot, and everybody in the crowd just backs away.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was so good.
The shit.
It was that's all you needed to know is this dude is a fucking badass.
Right.
And you need to back the fuck up because he is here and he is not here to play.
He is here to light
and then he just starts blasting.
So, going through the story, Stephen Dorff's character, is it Frost?
Deacon Frost,
which is like the most vampire name I have ever heard.
Totally.
I legit thought he was a deacon. Like I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was his first name.
I did too,
like,
John.
Well, what is it? You also see Deacon Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Ted's younger brother's name is Deacon.
Oh yeah,
like that's the only other place I heard.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Wow, the little brother from the second Bill and Ted.
From the first.
Oh, from the first
one.
one.
From the first one. Just his little brother's name.
I don't remember.
But right in that club scene is all you need to know about Blade. Like he's a badass, he's kicking ass, and he has a sense of humor, which is a refreshing thing for superhero movies.
Top 10 openings of a movie.
Oh yeah,
like immediately hooked
right into the action
situation. Like
fuck the drama in the beginning. Yeah, his mom died. Move on.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep it going. Yes,
right.
Yes,
just get into the action.
Excellent setup. Let's get to the party.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Blade is what I loved about Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yes.
That there was that darkness, but that element of humor and like that dry wit, and like that he's not trying to be funny. He's not a clown. He's not here to amuse you. He's just like he's smart, and the shit that comes out of his mouth is sometimes like really fucking funny, smart quips.
Yeah.
And he had that same. Because I don't watch the new Batman. It's like that's all drama. Like I need just a slight element of that humor.
Right
in there with my dark superhero.
Yes.
You know what? I can respect that.
Hey guys, if you like to see us in the flesh, we have video highlights of our episodes we release on every Wednesday before the new episode that comes out Friday. As always, you can catch this podcast on any major platform you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to rate us 5 stars and comment on how you're liking the show. After School Special Podcast.
It's this lady, and she's like, "Hi, welcome to my vagina."
After School Special Podcast.
What robot pet starts out speaking a unique language, but eventually speaks English? Gloopy? The fuck is a gloopy?
Podcast comes out every Friday. Oh, I was just going to dig more into the movie. You meet Karen Jensen, the hematologist.
Yes, the
doctor. Yep. She in to get this crispy critter.
Yep. Kills the doctor. What is it? Yeah, Dr.
Ex-Boyfriend.
Yeah,
Dr. Ex-Boyfriend.
Who cares?
There we go. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's in it for 2.5 minutes. Who cares?
Yeah.
He seems like he was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, yeah.
He broke up for a reason.
Jesus. He gets eviscerated by a vampire.
Right. She gets bitten.
Yes.
And then she sees Blade slow-mo in her stupor coming down the hallway, them boots.
Right. Clip clop.
He is stomping the hall.
And then doesn't he throw her over the building?
He takes her and he throws her from one building to the next.
He has a flashback of his mom.
Yeah.
That's why he takes
Sanaya Lathan.
Yep.
Yes. And she shows up later.
Who?
his mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But in the flashback, she was it. I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
That's,
right.
He sees her. He sees his mom.
Yeah.
Right. So
then he throws her off a building.
And
throws her off a building.
Where did all these motherfucking cops come from?
Right.
Why is there like cops with a whole arsenal in the hospital already ready to be shooting at?
He's like immediately start blasting. He's like, motherfucker, what are you doing?
They keep a fully stocked. And they're just like shooting him while he's holding the doctor. And shit. I'm like, he has a hostage. You think?
I know.
Why are you shooting at him?
Our Lady of the Perpetual Bullets.
I think a lot of
seriously.
I think a lot of those cops were familiars, and we'll get into that.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of knew.
You know
You're
what?
right.
Yeah.
It's all one big fucking mob.
Yeah, every Whistler says they own the police.
Yeah, they own the police.
So,
they own the police.
You know what? You're right.
I was going to say the actress who played Blade's mom, Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
That was her second role in any film.
Oh, no
her
shit.
first was, I did not know that. Like, I thought for some reason, I thought she had been in other things. That was her second big role before she got involved in other stuff. Love and Basketball, The Best Man, The Wood. But the first movie she was in was called Drive in 1997. But it's just fantastic how this movie started and where it went, especially when it got to the scene with Pearl.
He's here! He's here!
This must be Pearl, the record keeper.
He's going to kill me! You need me, Frost! You need me!
Pearl, your history. Have the good grace to die with some fucking dignity.
Frost!
I laugh so hard every time they burn Pearl. And I know it was like not meant for laughs. I don't know.
Well,
but
no, that's hilarious. What are you talking about?
It was a vampire, not supposed to care.
And then Pearl can't move anywhere either.
I know.
Not to be an ableist.
they were just blasting Pearl.
Pearl was like, I think it was 6 or 7 puppeteers that had to control Pearl. There was an air-conditioned suit. It was one person in there, and they, in order to move like whenever Pearl moved, and there's like a wave that happens when I slap my stomach, there's a wave, and it's like they had to have like some type of hydraulic. They were saying like they wanted to spend more time on that suit, but the time that was allotted, they weren't able to do what they wanted to do.
It was still
awesome.
I thought it was great.
I've been good to you, Deacon. I've been good to you, Deacon.
He moved.
Pearl would feed off of children. They would give Pearl children. But the thing is, to me, is like kids are so fast. How would Pearl be able to grab them?
So babies, like before they could walk?
Oh, maybe.
Possibly.
Oh, now fuck Pearl.
That's fucked up.
That just took a turn.
That took a turn.
Yeah. I wonder if they get like a baby stuck in one of their folds. I gotta make sure.
What happened to that baby? I just had that baby.
So Blade shows up at the hospital. He's after Deacon Frost's henchman,
Quinn.
Well, I feel like he
came to finish him off.
He came to finish him off.
Like, he knew he was not dead.
Right, of course, because he just can't kill.
Well, when he stabbed him to the wall and lit him on fire, he said, "Give my regards to Frost." So he expected him to deliver a message,
right,
at a certain point. But I guess he changed his mind. He was like, "You know what? He's gonna wake up and kill people in the hospital. Maybe I should get down there."
Maybe that was a move I should have made.
See, I thought he was using him as bait to get to Frost.
That's what. Well, I thought he was using Karen as bait, but that can't possibly be.
He did right after that.
So
when he picks up Karen, he takes her home, he reconnects her shoulder after he threw her through the window.
Right.
Takes her back, introduces her to Whistler.
Who are you people?
My name's Abraham Whistler. You gotta understand, they're everywhere. Vampires. The Hominis Nocturna. We hunt them, you see. Moving from one city to the next, tracking their migrations. They're hard to kill. They tend to regenerate.
Yep.
He explains we're vampire hunters. We have all these things. Crosses don't work. Silver works. Sun works. Garlic works.
Right.
Gives her some vampire mace and says, "Get the fuck out of town."
Right. Like she wakes up and starts wandering around this place that she's never been before. And like that's when he explains all this stuff to her. And she tries to leave. And then like Blade drops down all silently behind her with his boomerang. Like,
she's like, "Am I a prisoner here?"
Right?
No,
like, no,
we just
actually, we want you to get the fuck out.
But that scene you just referred to, like when he like demystifies everything you know about vampires, it was like, yeah, it reminds me of Interview with a Vampire, where they kind of did the same thing. So having it done in this movie to even further demystify like vampires, like, oh, they're not romantic, they're not like these motherfuckers you see in movies, like they're ugly, they're assholes, like
when like later when she tells him you're basically a STD.
Vampires like you aren't a species, you're just infected, a virus, a sexually transmitted disease.
I'll tell you what we are, sister. We're the top of the fucking food chain.
When she does the science on their blood and is like, you're just a fucking STD. Like, I could cure you.
Right?
You are gonorrhea.
Terrible case of syphilis.
Yeah.
But I love that because, you know, even though she sees this different thing she's never seen before, this being, but she was able to deduce because she's a doctor. Like, you know, I'm going to flip this. I could be scared, but it's like, you know what? No, it's a science thing. And I thought that was very unique in this movie.
Well, and she knew he didn't attack her, and that whatever he did, he reconnected her shoulder, and she woke up safely in a bed with healing wounds. And so she probably quickly deduced, like, okay, whatever's happening, I'm not in immediate danger. Right. So let me figure this out.
Yes.
She had to Nancy Drew it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And then she goes home after that. He gives her a
well,
ride
he
home.
says he's gonna drop her off, and then she goes in and notices these guys with those glyphs on their neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then that cop, she goes into pack, and this cop just walks up.
Officer Krieger.
Oh, this guy.
And she tries to mace him with the vampire mace. And
first time a cop is at it.
Boyfriend.
I was going to say, first time a cop's attacked a Karen.
It was this time the Karen did not call the cop.
Yeah, exactly.
Says basically he's there because she was kidnapped from the hospital, and he's just there to check on
Your
her.
ex-boyfriend is dead, and you're about to be a dead bitch too.
Yep. And then you get the explanation of the familiars, which Don had kind of mentioned, and the fact that everyone's in the pocket of Deacon and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a vampire Illuminati squad.
Basically. Right, yeah. Illuminati confirmed.
And so he bails, and they go to check his car, and Blade finds the blood bags and explains to her he's like gonna deliver, and he's one of Frost's guys, so we're gonna stake out this car.
Right.
And she's like, there's no way he's gonna come back. This dumbass does.
Of course. I mean, he's like a low-level henchman. Like real low.
And then he takes her to this vampire club and hands this hematologist a weapon.
Yeah. Like,
let's go. Let's go fight a vampire club full of vampires,
You're
human
a vampire
lady.
Hunter now, Dr. Karen.
Yeah, exactly. And she's down. I would have been
right.
Like,
I'm like, I don't want to be like armed in the club, please.
Yeah,
Are hematologists usually like in the emergency room?
She's a blood
like she
doctor.
Worked in the morgue or something.
I think she was like in a lab.
Was it the morgue?
Yeah, in
a lab. Like he worked in the morgue, and he had her come down to see this.
So she was doctor.
She was looking at the blood, and she's like, "What is this? A joke? Like this person isn't dead."
Yeah. So I don't think she saw patients. She looked at samples.
And that was the
okay. So she was a specialist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, what
working
are the
a midnight
odds?
Shift.
Like
that's
Whistler
the person
is
he
like,
picked up.
by the way, she's a hematologist. I looked her up. Like,
Isn't
what are
that
the
handy?
freaking odds that the vampire hunters meet up with the hematologist?
And then I don't know, why was the club all Asian vampires?
I
didn't notice that.
No.
It was like Asian schoolgirl entertainers and all old Asian businessmen
Was that
vampires.
Chibomato?
Year of the Tiger celebration.
No, I don't think so.
No, maybe not.
Year of the Tiger celebration.
Right? Or
you a fool, Aaron.
Or are they like the vampire Yakuza?
I don't know.
Vampire
they all seem
Yakuza.
like older guys.
I mean, there was like samurai swords.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
Well, I think that was kind of the style at the time. I will say I did wear some patent leathers when I was in 8th grade with the belts on the back and like my Kid Rock t-shirt. And I shopped at Gadzooks a lot. So
did you now?
I'm sorry, I almost died.
I mean, I have the vital pants too.
Did you guys know that they were going to tease Morbius in this movie?
Oh, I didn't.
They wanted to tease Morbius as far back as the first Blade.
And all we got was Jared Leto.
I was just going to say.
Due to the fact that Morbius was a Spider-Man character owned by Sony, this never came to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
In a lot of ways, this movie kind of reminds me of those old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films.
Yes.
Because of the style, the aesthetics, him having a lair. Basically, Whistler is like Master Splinter. And it's just, a lot of like it's a lot of things that they did that I feel like they borrowed from a lot of those films, but at the same time, there's a huge goth presence in this film that I thought was very interesting. You got the techno music, you got the even though Blade isn't a full vampire, he's a half-breed, he still kind of dresses kind of like them. So I thought that was interesting too. Like everybody's kind of wearing this stylish black goth garb,
I mean,
but
his,
he's wearing the same thing, but he's different.
His is a little
his is like armor, but theirs is just fashion.
This started like before the Matrix.
The Matrix,
old
when did Matrix come out?
The next year.
Year after.
The next year. Because this was the only other time I seen vampires like this in a movie was Constantine, which came out in was it 2005?
Well, Underworld too.
Underworld.
Yeah,
that's when they started.
Yeah,
the black leather-clad, sexy vampire.
Yeah, I never understood that. I was all about the Elizabethan, like Anne Rice, Tom Cruise, and Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
This good too. I mean,
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
You have the trench coat.
Yeah, there was trench coats and leather jackets.
But it wasn't as it was the 80s, so it wasn't as high tech looking as this.
I did hear in another podcast, and I give them credit because they were like, you have to believe that while Matrix was filming, they kind of borrowed a lot of these shots and CGI effects that Blade did. Now they took it to another level. But a lot of the slow motion bullets that you'll see later in the film, it was straight up ripped off from the Matrix.
The Matrix could run.
Yeah, exactly. So they get him back into the archive. So then that's where he's going to go down and meet Pearl.
That dude, though, Udo Kier. Like, it's about to be weird if Udo Kier is in your movie. The head vampire
the vampire elder.
Oh, yeah. So, we had met them at the board meeting at some point in the middle of this. There was like the
head
board
of
meeting.
The table and what's his name? Frost he was only turned. He wasn't born.
Yeah, he's not a pure blood.
I was born a vampire, as was every other member of this house. But you, Frost, you were merely turned.
You learn about the 12 pureblood vampires who awaken the blood god La Magra. There we go. I didn't want to mispronounce because it looked kind of like La Magra. Use that Midwestern accent. La Magra.
And then you see Frost he's having a party while they're having a party at his house. He's translating texts and being emo and broody in his room.
He's listening to his Massive Attack or whatever.
Deftones.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry. He's a scrawny little motherfucker, and like
wee,
Wesley Snipes probably carried him around on set in his palm, but like he is adorable.
He is just
sexy
adorable, leathery.
He is now.
Even with those bangs.
Yes,
that he's
they were always like
the
this.
Little.
He was a cutie pie.
Oh, so cute.
Anyway,
in his little vampire outfit, little Steven Dorff.
He was a dish. I'm not gonna lie. He was a dish.
Yeah, the cop shows up and to tell him that Blade's coming, and he eats him. Frost eats him.
Yeah, because like, what the fuck, dude? Why'd you even bother?
And I'm sorry, but speaking of hot Frost, gross, but the blonde licking the blood off his tongue.
Oh,
okay.
Euro vamp. Yes, like the Euro model vamp.
Yeah, who was that? Does anybody know?
I don't
that?
know. It was a model. I feel like she was like a one of those heroin models in the
90s. Was it Arlie Hover?
Maybe
Arcella Hover. She played Mercury. Was that the name of the?
Ever said her name?
I don't think they ever said her name.
I don't have it anywhere in my notes.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm Wikipediaing it, so it looks like it's Arlie Jover as Mercury, a fleet-footed vampire, and Frost Lover, the fast vampire that was chasing.
Okay, yeah, that's probably her.
Was that her?
I think so.
Yeah, that must be.
I always thought Deacon Frost had a Napoleon complex.
He must.
Yeah, because Steven Dorff is pretty small.
Yeah,
he's wee.
Yeah, he's weak.
I was wee.
Oh, he's a wee. Like, yeah, goddamn right, he's weak. So to keep going into the story, Karen finds a vaccine.
Right.
It explodes the vampire gene or the blood.
The blood. Yeah, it's explosive to the blood.
Right. She's like, energetic, the reaction.
And before she does that, though, Whistler tells the story of how he found Blade, which I think is interesting. That he found Blade when he was 13, feeding off the homeless, and he can withstand garlic, silver sun, has their strength and fast healing, but has their thirst and ages like a human. And explains to her, this medicine I give him, he's starting to reject it.
Right, he's building up a tolerance. And I feel like the person that he goes to see in that vampire bodega.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he goes and buys
I feel like that person
garlic.
must have had a bigger role in like the comic.
Because they
book
were like
series.
buddies. They like had a handshake.
They
and
never
shit.
mentioned this person again.
Nope. He was just
like
the dude in the shop.
Right.
It was just like some
vampire bodega.
jazz musician guy. Like he was just selling incense, and then like, oh, by the way, I got all these expensive
I've
weapons.
got garlic and sage. What
Yeah.
can I get for you?
It seems like he was part of the team more. Than
Right.
they
Like I feel like they
explained.
should. I don't know. Got a little bit more into that because why is he going here? How does he know this person? Like,
That guy
he's got the
obviously
best
knows what
weed.
He is.
Right.
Yeah. That was the dispensary.
Right.
The garlic dispensary.
I'm saying it's the bodega.
Best edibles, bro. Like, Flavy getting high.
Got the good.
So
It's like I got
this-
garlic smoke.
Yeah. The
Scarlet
serum that he
smoke.
makes, isn't it just garlic and blood? It's like
Sylvium. Yeah, Sylvium.
It's
Silver
silver
nitrate
garlic.
and like
It's like to keep him immune to,
or to
I
keep
don't
him
know.
from going overboard and like
and it
vamping
keeps
out
his not,
fully.
so he's not so thirsty.
So he wouldn't get the
tequila,
munchies.
rat blood, and Cheez-Its.
Yes. That's what I require.
That's what it should have been in the movie.
Right.
So Deacon Frost in the movie, he just wants to release his blood god, so the
He
vampires
wants
can be
to start
on.
the vampire apocalypse.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in the shadows anymore. Like
He
these
wants to
people
rule
are our
the
food.
humans. Yeah.
Like why
Yeah.
do we
Cattle.
pretend to
Well,
get
and then
along
he
with
wants
them?
to either kill or turn them all. So then where's your food, dumbass?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So pretty much what he wanted was the premise of Daybreakers. That's pretty much what he wanted.
wants to be what Blade is. He tells him that at some point.
Technically,
Like,
the Matrix as well.
Yeah, they farm out the humans. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they would.
True.
Like, they would have to have farms, like
breeding
blood farms or whatever.
blood farm, something. Yeah.
Right.
That would be fun.
And then there's scenes where the Stephen Dorff's character Frost wears like the sunblock to just be.
Right. That's some heavy sunblock.
So
that's
that's
some
something they've
effective
developed.
ass sunblock.
They did that
Yes.
on those motorcycle helmets when
well,
the
at
full
first,
sun
but
came up.
later
But
on, he came out just with
just in the
nothing
day, he
in
was
the
sort of
daytime.
in the shade, but not really.
You can only wear it once a year, otherwise I get cancer. Continue to put it.
And yeah, that's when he tells him, when he comes out in the sun and he tells Blade that, like, I know what you are. I want you to join us. We want to be like you. And Blade shoots at him, and that's when he does the bullet dodge.
Right.
Yeah.
Throws
that
little girl
fucking
into
kid.
the
He just
traffic.
shots her. Oh. And Blade stops the.
He like throws
saves
her through a building.
Yeah,
like,
she like crashes through something and
she
hits
would
the
have
ground.
just died. She was like 8.
She was small.
This movie is really good at throwing women out of like just
Yes.
catapulting like
What
get the fuck out of here.
hell?
It's sequel right.
Another interesting tidbit about this movie that unlike other vampire films, they say that the older vampires, as they age, they get weaker, whereas in other vampire incarnations it's the opposite. So I thought that was interesting too. That was another reason I heard in the podcast where they explained like that's why Deacon Frost was able to be in the sunlight a little bit longer, because not only because of the sunblock, but he's a little stronger. He can withstand it, and so that was kind of cool to hear. But
yeah,
so they want Blade to join them, and like they never quite explain it. So was he going to be?
He's the center of that prophecy.
Yeah.
They need
Right,
that
they need
blood
the Daywalker
to make the vampire apocalypse start.
Right.
They gotta have
So-
Daywalker.
But
blood.
ultimately, that would have killed him. So they weren't going to like.
Well, he just wanted him to think they wanted him to join.
He
okay.
offers
Yeah.
him a truce, but
So that
just
he can use
because
his blood.
we want to get
Little
you over here.
switcheroo.
Yeah.
Karen finds the cure and everything, and then all of a sudden, our boy Deacon Frost comes into the hideout and bites. I think they bite Whistler, or at least
They,
beat the
like, fuck
shit
him
out
up.
of him.
Shoot him in
They
the
infect
leg
him.
and
They
beat
say
the shit out of him.
Yeah.
No, they bite him.
It says infect him because then Blade returns and then he gives his buddy a gun, or was it a gun?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
think it
because
was a
he
gun.
tells him, "Now walk away, you stupid son of a bitch." And you
Right.
hear the
Yeah, you hear
gunshot.
the
That was some
gunshot.
sad
Yeah.
shit, man.
Chris
was
Offerson.
sad.
It was,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Yep.
Chris
only other-
Offerson.
Yeah.
This is
The
fucking
only,
solid, dude.
So
I
that
can
gets
remember
really
that.
sad because that, and then he goes and like destroys his little Zen area and rips up his plant and tosses
Right.
all it, like, because he ain't coming back here. Like he's gonna
Right.
go out
He's-
he's either not coming back or he's moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So the vampires took Karen.
Right? Yes.
And then that's when she tells him that you're an STD. I have a cure. I could fix you, whatever. And he's like, nope, blood god's coming.
Yeah. No time to talk.
And then once again, Blade rides his motorcycle in here and just fucking blowing up heads.
Like ruins all
and
their
it's very
papers.
Matrix. Like, I feel like they stole, I mean, it's not the same thing, but that coming into the lobby and just fucking murdering everybody single-handedly, like that was like that
was
scene
like
in
the
Matrix.
scene, the office building,
yeah,
whatever, where they go to get morphine.
Yeah,
that's what it gave me. Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say the violence back then was just like, well, I wouldn't even say it. Like the action back then was just so awesome.
Yes.
Like any movie that you saw, like Matrix. Blade, even a lot of like, I don't know, the action films that were in the 90s. I'm obsessed with all the action films. Everyone doesn't like Steven Seagal as a person, but his movies are absolutely hilarious and awesome at the same time.
I didn't know Seagal was from Lansing. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that. Damn,
we got a lot of Tom Skerritt. You know, we got him.
Jeff Daniels, the guy who actually wrote. Yeah. The guy who wrote Blade is from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
David Goyer.
We got a lot of talent here. Psst.
Hey, you.
Want to get doomed?
I'm Tessa.
And I'm Nicole. And we have a spanking new podcast for your ear holes called Doom Generation.
Listen in as two foul-mouthed biddies have an always casual, often comedic...
What? I think we're funny.
And sometimes chaotic conversation about the things that doomed us to be who we are today.
Take a trip with us down nostalgia lane and we'll try not to veer off the road.
Available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Doom Generation Pod and on Twitter at DoomGen Pod.
Later, Doomers!
And then, so after that, his mother is revealed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where you meet that she's been alive the whole time.
Sarcophagus bed thing that like opens. It's all cool.
And so Deacon, that's when you find out he started all this, that he bit his mom.
Who would ever guessed you'd survive your mother's death? But you did. And here we are. One big happy fucking family.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that make him like his vampire daddy? Is he
yes, a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's been planning this. He's been watching his baby boy for his whole life.
His baby boy.
Teabagged him.
This in order.
Yeah, like he maybe did that.
He can do this. Yeah, he's been doing it for.
He's very cash about it.
Very.
Gotta admit, for that being like a what? Blade's supposed to be in his 30s or something, like for that being a 30-year plan.
Mission, yeah, he was playing the long con.
Yeah, he was. Like he could have gotten it when he was 13, feeding off the homeless. Why did he wait till he was buff and strong as fuck and had weapons?
Because he needed him to be like stronger. They need that extra Daywalker blood.
I don't know.
Did they know about the whole? Did they know about the whole prophecy?
But yeah, he didn't know the prophecy yet. So how did he know he needed a Daywalker? He just did the prophecy, like unlocked it in this movie.
I think that was more like
fuck. We're gonna have to read the
more
comics.
Like a syphilis-driven. I mean, vampire-driven attack, and then after the so, yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, Blade's mom is hot. I guess I'd keep her if I was Frost, but like,
well,
yeah,
might as well.
I mean, I guess
she wants to stay. Hey,
wow.
Come on, I got a sarcophagus for two.
I got
Well, the whole family heads to the Temple of Eternal Night. Also, moonlights as a Denny's, where Frost plans to perform the summoning ritual.
So this is an archaeological dig in Detroit,
right?
It's like,
yeah,
it's just.
I guess
where it all began.
I called it the Vampire God Silo Complex.
Yes,
it was just like a big tube.
Oh yeah, Detroit has one of those.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, we got one of those.
And I love when Frost is acting like he's gonna cut off Quinn's arm for the third time with Blade's sword, and he's just like, "Come on, put out your arm," and he's like, "Oh no, fuck. Come on, man!
I just grew it back."
That guy is so great. Oh my god,
it's so good.
Wait, I can't remember. Does it grow back like a baby arm?
Yes.
Is that like the
hilarious? But it
wasn't a baby arm, but it was raw and kind of deformed.
Yeah, it was still forming. Okay. Can we talk about the thing that's a little different for Blade? Compared to other superheroes, like Blade is pretty much poor. He's pretty much robbing fucking enemies and vampires to get his money. Unlike these superheroes that inherited money. That's what I like probably the most. Like fucking Blade is hood. And
he's
stealing watches. Is he though?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, compared to
he lives in a warehouse. I don't know what that makes you.
Yeah, I mean,
if you live in the industrial district of
he's a blue collar.
Right.
Yeah, he's blue collar.
Blade is blue collar? He was robbing people. That's not blue collar.
He doesn't have a job.
He works really hard at what he does.
He works really hard at what
he's the
doing.
Oliver Twist of vampires.
Yeah.
Yes. But like Whistler, like compared to Alfred and compared to like Batman, like where he has billions and billions of dollars to.
But there's multiple heroes like that aren't rich. So he's not.
But that's the first one I saw like that in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying for the time
vampire
period.
that wasn't rich.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see a vampire.
Yeah, even that alone.
They're always like
they always have money from because they've been around forever and figured out how to get money.
That's true.
Whistler's eating spam and smoking Pall Malls, like unfiltered Pall Malls.
We not only have the first black superhero vampire, but the guy is pretty much it's on some gangster ass shit. And in the 90s, that really like grabbed me. It's like, all right, man, they could have went the whole Hollywood white collar way, but they're like, no, he's pretty much
I don't think
thug.
he thinks of it as thieving because they're vampires and he killed them already, so he's just picking
up
like a
trash.
To the victor goes the spoils.
Recycling. Yeah, it's just recycling.
It's like a Robin Hood thing.
Yeah.
He's robbing.
And you know what, man? I would have to disagree with that. Only from a time frame period but Spawn came out in '97 and he was homeless. And that's how he was.
And a veteran.
Doing this.
And a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
God damn.
Blade was one up.
He was homeless only after he came back from hell.
That's what it was. That's true too. So he had
a home before.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm just all full of these one-liners right now. Sorry.
You see what they do to us, John? Like we gotta be homeless, poor, veterans.
Well, he was burnt to shit too.
Burnt to shit.
Really know it.
Out of wedlock. Yeah, man. Broken families. Yeah, damn, dude. We needed a Whistler caregiver to help us, but still, he was still the main
make it on
guy.
his own as a badass vampire. He needed an old white man to take him in.
Oh yeah.
But when he helped him commit suicide, which is fucking sad, but it's like he didn't even cry. He was just like,
"No, well,
damn dog."
I mean, he's
right.
I mean, I think his crying was wrecking his shit. That was his emotional outlet. Was he went through all his shit, had a temper tantrum, and was like, "Fuck this place, I'm out."
Yeah.
Well, they made each other a promise. Like, if this happens to me, you know what to do. So it was,
that's true. So I mean, he was just making good on doing what he had to do.
But when Karen
in the hole,
the Karen
with
in the
that
hole.
ex-boyfriend vamp. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, he fell on there with Webb, the zombie dude. He became a zombie at that point.
I loved her beating his ass with that bone. She fucking did not care. She smashed his fucking face in.
She did that same thing with Pearl too, where she held that light a little too long,
and he was like, "Whoa,
all right, like come on, stop it,
you're going a little too far."
Well, Blade told her like, "Hey, if you get the chance, you strike."
Do what you have to do.
Yeah,
and she took it literally.
She just had it at this point. She's like, earlier today.
Yeah.
I was working in my lab.
Like, what the hell has my life become? I'm sorry.
Like, trying to adapt. Like, I'd be looking to beat the shit out of somebody with a bone too.
Right?
Yeah. That femur, getting hit with a femur ain't no joke. So,
no.
And she's badass. She got some muscle. She climbs her way up out of there. I couldn't have climbed out of that hole.
I would have just died in there.
I would have just died.
That would have been it. Like, well, I guess I'm dead now.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that she picked a bone with him.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn it, Don. Damn it.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Good night, everybody.
So mad I didn't get that one.
Pop quiz. Hot shots. Blade also has a real name. Does anyone know what it is?
Eric.
Oh.
Eric, last name.
Oh, I don't know the last name.
Lattimore.
Oh.
I don't know. Is that right?
No, it's Eric Brooks.
Eric Brooks.
Yep.
Okay.
And so what? Did his mom name him before he was born, or like after she became a vampire?
Died, she was like reaching away.
I don't even think they even tied it. She's probably just like, I'll name him Blade.
Yeah.
Well, did Whistler name him?
I think so.
Who gave
probably.
him the name Eric?
Well, then why would his last name be Brooks?
Because his mom's last name must have been Brooks, but she calls him Eric in this movie.
Oh, that's
his
right.
mom's last name was Brooks.
Yeah, so she named him Eric.
She calls him Eric.
Uh-huh.
So Blade is his street name.
I think so.
His stage name, like Madonna.
I'm gonna guess he doesn't know his name is Eric. Why would he know? Like, where was there not that moment when she says Eric and he goes, "Who?
What?
My name is fucking Blade. I don't. Who's Eric? Do I look like a
dead.
fucking Eric? Dude,
All I
look at
know
this
is
man.
Blade.
Right?
Is that Eric
go
to
by
you?
Blade.
It's B Diddy.
Did you see this outfit? Does this outfit scream Eric? To
Right?
you?
Exactly. What Eric do you know that looks like this? Come on now. And then they put him in that thing, that marble thing that at first I thought was a big styrofoam. When they put him
like
in
a
that
cooler?
thing, like they stuck him in the thing, and I was like, "Is that a fucking styrofoam block?" But no, it's like a marble. It's like
That
a
did
stone thing.
remind me of the Han Solo scene where he gets
They put him in
frozen.
Carbonite.
Yeah. They needed to do that just to take his blood. Couldn't they just like?
To strap him in? Yeah.
I
Well, he
guess.
was part of that. I think the whole thing was that schematic of that temple.
Oh,
Yep.
That was the mechanism
Well, they had
in
to
which
drain him,
it
wasn't
drained
it?
and
Yeah.
it went down the glyphs and dripped onto the elder. So there was some reason for having to put him in that thing. Yeah.
The pageantry.
The
for
pageantry,
show.
yes.
They had to
ritual
make
or
it
else wouldn't
as
work.
elaborate as possible.
Yep.
They're vampires. They have to do things this way.
But Karen gets him out.
Well, can we
Mhm.
back
It's
up for a
sword.
second because is one vampire in this film, the eldest, that I thought he's a really good actor that we didn't really talk about. What's his name?
Was that Udo Kier?
Is that his name?
I don't remember.
The guy that gets his teeth pulled out?
Yeah.
When they take into the sun. Yeah, we talked about him.
Yeah,
That's
Udo Kier.
Udo
Like
Kier.
he's always
Okay.
the weird guy. Like if he shows up,
You know
something
it's
weird's
weird.
gonna
Yeah.
happen. Something
Yeah.
spooky is gonna happen.
Hell yeah, he was in Ace Ventura.
Yes.
Pet
Sure
Detective.
the fuck was.
That's
He's been in a ton
yeah.
of stuff.
He's in he's been in a couple Madonna videos.
Yeah.
He has?
Guy. Yeah.
Yes, he was in Suspiria.
Mm.
The original Suspiria.
The original Suspiria. Yep.
Yeah.
What a great vampire he was. Even though it was
yes.
very limited.
The accent and
Yes.
those eyes,
Mhm.
like he just
just know,
vampire. Yeah.
So here's a fun fact. Do you know that Blade is not technically a vampire, he's a Dhampir.
Oh.
That's
what you call him, the mix human.
Yeah. So a
Like born a
Dhampir
vampire.
is a vampire that is the result of a human immortal, or not human immortal, of a vampire and immortal union, and they have the powers of the vampire but the same abilities as a human.
Oh, okay.
The only other time a Dhampir came up was in this little movie that came out in the 90s called Vampire in Brooklyn. That was Angela Bassett was the Dhampir in that. That's the only other time that title has come up.
So we are in the midst of La Magra, and Blade confronts Frost after killing all the minions and doing what he escapes. He also kills his mom, which is you know, pretty fucked up.
He says that's not his mom, that his mom died a long time ago.
Right.
Tells
Yes.
them
She's just
no, she says that.
Right.
Your mom died a long time ago. I
Right.
love to kill. I'm with
I'm
Frost.
a vampire. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here with him. And isn't this where it does that, like, the wind kicks up and all the blood starts swirling around?
Yeah, well, and then and there's that hole in
Like,
Blades
it goes
or not
into his
Blades.
head.
Frost's eyes turn
Yes.
red.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he cuts his arm off. And actually, the guy that did the CGI, and I cannot remember his name. It was a documentary off of YouTube. He was saying it's like the small amount that we did with just these few scenes and how long we worked on it for like 6 weeks. That scene in general in the temple where he cuts off his arm, it grows back, and then he cuts him in his stomach where half of his body comes up and then comes back down. Yeah.
It
He's
was
like,
amazing though.
Yeah.
oh, for the time?
For the
It
time.
was absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was even saying is like there is so much that we're going to be able to do in the next 20 years, and the guy was right. Like if they redid that now, it would probably, it would look like it's actually real, that people would be freaking out.
Instead of Jello falling out of his body.
Did they?
There is the new Blade.
I haven't heard anything
There
about
is a new
this.
Blade, in fact, indeed.
Who's it going to be?
Oh, no, I guess
Maharashtra Ali.
I'm
Whoever
talking about.
can say it first gets $1.
I love the attempt.
Mahershala Ali.
There you go.
Marsala Ali. Yeah.
Well,
I love him.
Yeah, he's Blade.
Okay.
his voice was in the Eternals. The
was.
voice at the end when they were. It was who's going to be the
Jon Snow,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to be. Is it the
Kit Harington.
Black Knight.
Black Knight?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his voice. It's Blade's voice when he's coming up to the Ebony Blade.
But to take a quick detour real quick, this came out in August 1998. Do you guys remember seeing this in the theater at all?
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. Yeah. I went several times.
I worked in the parking lot of the Cinema Star when this came out. So I went to the movies like all the time.
There yet. I think I was the next summer I started working there.
Yeah. But I definitely remember seeing it.
So where we left off, our friend Blade, he cuts Deacon in half. And he's already got the power of, the ritual is La Magra, but he's got all this power.
The spirit of the 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they took the 12 elder vampires and rounded them up like cattle and like, I don't know, what did they do? They were in this like ancient pyramid thing and they like put them in.
I don't know. He did whatever that blueprint told him to do.
Yeah.
Drained them more.
Yeah.
And took all their powers, I guess. So that
I think so. To make him the blood god or whatever.
Yes, because that's what he wants to be, the blood god.
But then Blade kicks that ream of like not the serum, but the explosive shit down.
Right.
And
the
he hits him with
antigens.
like all fucking 6 of these ampules, and he gets like hernia storm.
Yeah.
From Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
Yes.
Just like chunkily expands.
I'm allergic.
Yeah.
Originally, Stephen Dorff's character, they're saying like when he transformed, he was supposed to be like a whirlwind of like blood. And originally, Blade was supposed to fight like a CGI whirlwind, but when they saw it in one of like the test shots, they're like, "This sucks.
This is silly.
Not gonna
We
work."
can't do this."
Yeah, like they built up the Frost character so much that it was disappointing. Because I think they showed this to audiences and they didn't like it, so they tried to make it
tornado.
Yeah, like a blood tornado.
On. I'm not scared of weather.
So they changed it to where he keeps his form, and like at the last minute, like added that infamous sword fight scene where they're like just kind of chopping at each other. But
yeah.
At the time, I liked it, but
it was the move to make. I mean, the big blood tornado would have been
that wouldn't have been good
after all of that.
And
then got a little bit of a blood tornado. It was
when he cut him
around
there was
in there.
You know, that sounds like a drink. Blood tornado.
Blood tornado. Yeah, let's invent it.
We're gonna invent it.
So he gets hit with all those big head explosion.
You gotta do the quote though, the Blade quote.
What does he say?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Motherfuckers always trying to skate
uphill.
Yeah.
He had a lot of quotes in this movie. We haven't really said, but yeah, that was.
I don't know
he's got a ton of one-liners.
Yeah, they're so good.
I mean, really, I'm gonna be interested to see how the new Blade fills these shoes.
Yeah.
Boots, I guess, as it were.
Probably less one-liners, and I don't know. I'm pretty excited, mainly because Stephen Dorff was in True Detective, and then Ali was also in True Detective.
Oh, sure,
that's right. Ah, the connection. I don't know what storyline they're going with.
Well, Morbius was in Blade in the deleted scene for the Blade movie.
Really?
Played by Steve Norrington. He was only in there briefly.
In the comic, Morbius is the one that gives Blade his powers. Originally, Blade
was it? I thought it was
Blade
Deacon
was
Frost.
born immune in the comics, born immune to vampire bites. So he can still get killed. He just couldn't turn into a vampire. And then later on, Morbius, the character, enhanced his powers by biting him. That's your geek fact of the day.
Oh,
and I think because of the movie, the movie was so popular, they kind of changed it around to fit that. But
right. Well, I wonder only if they thought maybe like let's not open up too many storylines. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, that was
'Cause I feel
before
like
the
it was
metaverse
kind of,
or whatever.
Right. Like it was, a little bit before the metaverse, but they were probably testing the waters with this because I don't think there'd been anything like this where it was like a vampire superhero action horror.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't know if they thought it was going to take off the way that it did.
So Karen offers to help Blade cure himself. This is after the whole battle ensued and Deacon Frost is dead. Instead, he asks her to create an improved version so he can continue his crusade against vampires.
Right.
And then Blade, at the end of the movie, is in Moscow.
In the snow, hunting vampires.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I wish because they didn't touch on that there's Blade 1, 2, and then Trinity, which...
Oh, we know about that one.
Yeah.
Do you now?
I was going to say, what is your favorite out of all? Because this is the first one.
This is my favorite.
This one's my favorite.
But
yeah,
I'll take the Ryan Reynolds shirtless chained to the floor scenes any day.
All right now.
Yeah, and he got 3 tries with Marvel. 3 tries out of any actor. 3 freaking tries.
True, he did.
And he didn't go with Deadpool.
Tell him, John.
The audacity.
Like
if I ever hear him.
Wesley only got 1.
I know, he better fucking not,
Hey,
because he had to do Green Lantern.
Any movie, a Marvel movie where they're going to attempt
Wolverine.
a pegging.
Oh, yeah.
I got to give that to Deadpool.
Anytime they have a pegging in any scene,
right?
I'm here for that.
I'm here for that. Happy International Women's Day.
Yes.
Wraps up. Fuck
Yeah.
All right.
So that is the movie Blade. I was going to say Blade 2 is actually my favorite.
Me
because
too.
I love
Me
Guillermo
too.
del Toro.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the director, Guillermo del Toro, is amazing.
I also remember that when Blade came out, you know, it kind of set the standard, and it was like the zenith of like the whole goth scene. Like, I was never a part of that, but we, in my neighborhood, we made fun of that. But after Blade, it was like a little bit more acceptable. Matrix came out and took it way further than that. And then Columbine happened in April of 1999. And I just remember, to get a little blue for a second, that Matrix and a lot of other movies got blamed for Columbine. But I remember Blade was kind of escaped that because of Matrix. And it was like, I was kind of happy about that because
Matrix kind of took the brunt of that.
Yes, they did.
It was 2 months. It was 2 months. April it happened, and Matrix came out in May.
Blade did get hit with
no, Matrix came out in April,
Was
March.
March. March. That's right. So before, and then that happened in
Like 2
April.
months.
That's
Yeah,
right.
April
I saw
20th.
It in May of that year. So yeah.
I remember hearing stuff about, like, well, Blade in general, but they always do that. Every, like, old ass politician goes to movies for the problem, not, you know, like actual kids maybe needing to go to therapy or issues at home and whatnot. They go to movies and music.
Mm-hmm.
That and video games too, man. Don't forget that, because a lot of video games got the brunt of it.
I play Red Dead Redemption 2 all the time, and I'm not a fucking cowboy.
You're not?
I wish I was.
I think what ends up being the problem is a lot of these kids, escapism is the issue, and they escape into these films and they tend to get lost in character versus reality, and they use it because the kill count. Because to bring it more recent, that shooting that happened in Florida at that school. That guy was like, I'm trying to get the highest kill count possible.
Well, I think that's more related to it has. So I wouldn't blame movies or music for that. In general, it has something more to do with their not being heard, a mental disassociation from what is real. They see a movie. I could watch. I hate to blame movies and music and video games for something that a person did, and then take away responsibility from, you know, I guess what this person meant to do. This person meant to hurt people. So when politicians go that, I think that's what pisses me off the most. When politicians go that route, it's a fucking easy out. Blame the movies, blame the music, rather than the person taking responsibility for killing mass amount of people. But yes, you come here for the laughs, and we give you school shootings. But
you're welcome.
I want to thank Nicole and Tessa from the Doom Generation podcast for coming on here and just making this a great, terrific time. And we really do appreciate you guys coming on here. Let everyone know where they can find your podcast and what days it comes out.
It's every Saturdays at midnight. So the Friday, Saturday cusp right at midnight, we upload. We're on everywhere. Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon, Audible, all the fucking places you find podcasts.
Things. We're everywhere.
Yep. and we're on Instagram at Doom Generation Pod and Twitter at Doom Gen Pod. And that's where we post all our bad photoshops of us in every movie that we cover.
And I've seen them, and they're
I love those. I love those. Any Patreon, any way they can support you.
/Doom Generation, and we have 2 tiers, $2, $4. At $2 you get bonus audio. At $4 we send you shit. We'll send you merch. We make you stuff. I sent somebody one of my original Garbage Pail Kid cards from my collection. Just whatever random thing where like into at the moment, like that's what you'll get. You get like we call it the grab bag, the doom grab bag. You get
That's
something
awesome.
out of there. So we're all over the place, and thank you guys for having us. We had a blast.
Oh, we're big fans, man. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you being
a lot of
on.
fun.
So we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. And bye.
Bye. Later, gamers.
Hey everyone, it's Aaron from After School Special Podcast. Like what you hear so far? But don't forget to subscribe and download the show on whatever platform you get your podcasts. And just a friendly reminder, we have new episodes out every Friday. Thanks for listening, everyone.
I need my money.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.